The phrase performance improvement plan, just hearing it can make your stomach drop, right? For most of us, those three words spell out dread. But what if we've been looking at it completely wrong? In this explainer, we're going to break down how to flip this whole process on its head, turning it from a punishment into a real path for progress. And we're drawing on some amazing insights from Invigorate HR to do it. Oh man, we've all been there, haven't we? That super vague calendar invite just pops up. Title: Meeting. Attendees: you, your manager, and HR. What's that immediate feeling? Yeah, it's that knot in your stomach, right? That feeling of dread. It's not you being dramatic. It's a totally rational reaction to a system that feels less like a coaching session and more like you're on trial. But here's the thing, it absolutely does not have to be this way. That anxiety, it's just a symptom of a broken system. It is not a mandatory part of having a job. And the really good news is there's a much better way, a powerful alternative that completely flips the script. We're talking about moving away from all that fear and failure and heading straight towards clarity, partnership, and actual genuine growth. Okay, so first things first, we have to be brutally honest about what the performance improvement plan, the PIP, has really become. Let's face it, in most companies, nobody sees it as a tool to help you get better. Nope. It's seen as the first step on the conveyor belt to the exit door. It's basically a formal document that says you've failed. So why is this whole approach so, broken? To fix something, you first have to understand what the problem is, right? So let's diagnose exactly what's wrong with the system we have now. When you boil it all down, the core problem really stems from one place: fear. Think about it. Most PIPs aren't designed to help the employee. They're designed to protect the company legally. They're just a box-ticking exercise for compliance. And because of that, they're always reactive. They only get triggered after a problem has already become a big deal. And the result? The trust between a manager and their employee just gets completely shredded. And the cost of doing business this way? It's huge. It's not just about one unhappy employee. This fear-based system leads directly to things like disengagement and quiet quitting, where people just do the absolute bare minimum. And what about the managers? A lot of them haven't been trained for these super tough conversations, so they just start avoiding them altogether. Then HR gets totally burned out from being the bad guy. And what you're left with, at the end of the day, is a culture of fear across the whole company where nobody feels safe enough to mess up. Okay, so how do we fix this mess? Well, I can tell you it's not about designing a prettier form or finding a new template online. The real solution starts with a radical shift in our thinking, a complete, fundamental change in how we look at performance, at accountability, and frankly, at what a manager's job really is. And this slide really gets to the heart of it. We've got to move away from this old model, which is all about punishment and control, and move towards something new. A new model that's built on partnership, on clarity, and on a shared goal of growth. The entire reason for even having the conversation has to change. So this new philosophy really boils down to three super powerful ideas. First, performance isn't just on the employee. It's a shared responsibility between them and their manager. Second, it's about development over discipline, always. And third, it's about real coaching, not just checking off some compliance box for legal. All right, so a new philosophy is great, but how do we actually do this? How does this new mindset translate into tools we can use every day? Because we need something practical to make this real. So let's dive into the new toolkit. The very first step, you have to completely redefine and rebrand the PIP. Seriously, just stop calling it a performance improvement plan. Start calling it what it should actually be: a support plan, or a clarity document, or my favorite, a success roadmap. Just changing the name totally changes the goal. It's not an exit ramp anymore. It's a genuine plan to help someone get back on track and succeed. And this whole idea is built on something really crucial. Great performance management isn't some big, scary, once-a-year event. It's a continuous thing. It's about having lots of small, ongoing conversations. Think of it like little course corrections along the way. When you do that, when you provide real-time coaching, you find that you almost never need a formal support plan because you're catching things early and often. But look, for those rare times when you do need a more formal chat, this 5-step script is an absolute game changer. It's so powerful because it takes all the emotion out of it and just focuses on the facts. You start with step 1, here's what I'm seeing, just objective, observable stuff. Step 2, here's the impact on the team, on the project. Step 3, here's what success looks like, so everyone's clear on the goal. Then, and this is huge, step 4, here's how I'll support you. The manager makes a commitment. And finally, step 5, here's how we'll measure progress. It's a shared plan. See? It's fair, it's clear, and it's built on teamwork. But we've got to be real here. Changing a document's name or using a new script, that's just the beginning. That's the easy part. To really make this stick, you have to shift the entire culture of the organization when it comes to performance, feedback, and accountability. Because at the end of the day, none of this works without one key ingredient: trust. The best, highest performing teams are always built on what's called psychological safety. And all that means is that people feel safe. Safe enough to speak up with ideas, ask questions, or, and this is a big one, admit they made a mistake without fearing they'll be punished or humiliated. A performance system focused on growth builds that safety. A system based on fear absolutely destroys it. So really, this is the journey we're talking about. It's an evolution. We want to move from that dreaded annual review to having continuous conversations about growth. We want a culture that's all about development, not just compliance. One that builds trust instead of spreading fear. And one that encourages everyone to take ownership of their own performance instead of trying to dodge the conversation. All right, so as we start to wrap this up, let's just lock in these key takeaways. Remember, performance is about relationships. It's relational. And creating psychological safety, that actually drives accountability. It doesn't get rid of it. And never forget that your systems shape people's behavior. The way you set things up determines how people will act. So choosing development over discipline, well, it isn't just the nice thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. It's just flat out more effective. So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. I want you to take a really hard, honest look at your own workplace. Are your processes and systems designed to catch people failing and punish them? Or are they fundamentally designed to build people up and help them succeed? Because the answer to that question, it changes everything.